Dear student, class 7, lesson 4, historic case of Agartala State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and others. It was your first chapter, lesson 4. So I am revised it again. In 1968, the Ayub and Munaim brought about an allegation of subversion. Subversive activities against some civil and military personnel of East Pakistan. It was actually aimed at stopping the 6-point movement. The Pakistan government filed a case named Agartala case. The case was filed against mentioned 35 people, including Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, as accused. The case stated that the accused had been attempting to create an independent state in East Pakistan with Indian support. Actually, it was a dream of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. One day, his forces, his own forces, snatched the attack the army cantonment of West Pakistan and win the independence from guerrilla attack. So this plan was actually expressed actually public, and for this reason the case was filed against him and others 34 peoples. The ultimate goal of the government was to prove all 35 along with Bangabandhu as enemies of Pakistan and award them capital punishment. Thus, they wanted to silence political agitation altogether. However, the military-led government finally had to retreat in the face of massive protest from students and general people. They were compelled to withdraw the case and free all prisoners. Look, 11-point movement. Student of Dhaka University took the streets with 11-point alongside 6-point. This started mass demonstration. 11-point demands including introduction of direct adult poll and parliamentary democracy, complete autonomy of East Pakistan. Actually, complete autonomy of East Pakistan, it was included in 6-point demand: nationalization of banks, insurance, heavy industries, lessening of tax and revenue for farmers, freeing of all political prisoners, withdrawal of all their cases. Lesson 5, the mass uprising of 1969. In January 1969, Chhatro League, Chhatro Union, Jatiyo Chhatro Federation formed all-party Chhatra Sangram Parishad with a view to ousting General Ayub Khan. Students started agitation program in favor of their 11 points alongside the 6 points of Awami League. The government started using police atrocity to suppress the agitation. On 20 January 1969, when the police opened indiscriminate fire on agitating student in Dhaka, Asudur Zaman, he was a student of Dhaka University, was killed. This killing transformed the agitation into a mass uprising. Every movement and agitation actually start in the central point of Dhaka University. On 15 February 1969, Sergeant Johurul Haq and the Dhaka University hostel name in the name of Sergeant Zahirul Haq. An accused of the Agartala case was shot dead inside the jail. Dr. Samsud Joha, a teacher of Russian university, was brutally killed by the Pakistan army personnel on 16 February. At the moment, at that moment, he was busy pacifying the agitated student. News of this killing lit the fire of discontent among the mass people. Failing to sustain the tides of the movement, the military-led government was compelled to withdraw Agartala case and free all the accused unconditionally. On 22 February 1969, it is a memorable day when the accused people of Agartala case free from the case. 22 February 1969. Finding no other way, the frightened General Ayub Khan resigned from the presidency on 25 March. Actually, Ayub Khan resigned from his from the presidency post on 25 March. He handed over the presidency to General Yahya Khan. Thus, the student and the people obtained another success in their movement. Look, these three people who are sacrificed their life and killed by the West Pakistani armies. Shahid Asad, student, Dhaka University student, Shahid Sergeant Zahirul Haq, and Shahid Dr. Samsud Joha, who was a teacher of Russian University. Lesson 6, General Election of 1970. President Ayub Khan resigned from the presidency, handing over power to the army chief Yahya Khan. Soon after assuming power, Yahya Khan attempted to pacify Bengalis. He pledged to hold a general election in 1970. The general election of Pakistan National Assembly was held on 7 December 1970. When did the general election held? 7 December 1970. There were a total of 330 seats in parliament, of which 169 were allocated to East Pakistan and the rest of West Pakistan. In the National Assembly, the main opponents were Awami League and Pakistan People's Party. Awami League owned 167 seats in the National Assembly, while PP Pakistan People's Party got 88. Mentionable that Awami League got the majority in East Pakistan, while PP got the majority in the West. Later on 17 December of the same year, the provincial election was held. Awami League, actually two elections were held. One is national and other one was provincial election. Awami League came out as the majority with 298 of 310 seats of the Provincial Assembly of East Pakistan. The rest of the seats went to independent candidates and other political parties. Very important significance of the election. The result of election in 1970 increased the pace of our movement towards liberation. Two different majorities in two separate wings of Pakistan proved Bengalis as a separate nation. The overwhelming victory obtained by Awami League reflected the cherished desire for recognition of our race as a separate identity since 1947. The demand for autonomy was also validated in the mandate. The result all together bade our farewell to the Pakistani rulers. At the same time, the Bangladesh showed their acceptance of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib as their symbol of emancipation. uh, lesson 7. Look, here is some question. Who raised the proposal for state language in favor of Bangla in the National Assembly of Pakistan? It will be Dhirendranath Dotto. Number B. Number 2. The reason why unity was not established even after birth of Pakistan was at first no equal distribution of wealth, negligence to the demand of autonomy. Number 3, ignoring the language of the majority. Which one is correct? It will be number D, 1, 2 and 3. Look, here is a question. Read the following stem and answer the question 3 and 4. Look, Rimi was watching a program on TV with attention. A leader was speaking in an assembly of student teacher in a strong voice. He declared to implement political decision. The student protest with no, no, no. Which movement do we recall from the speech of the leader? Look, number A, language movement. Number B, mass uprising. Number C, war of liberation of 1971. And number D, movement of non-cooperation. It will be number A, language movement. The important outcome of that movement was the rise of nationalism, constitutional recognition of language, achievement of dignity of a separate nation. Which is correct? It will be number D. Creative question. Look, the people of Baharampur, very important, started a movement being agitated with the long autocratic attitude and activities of their chairman. He never cared for anyone but some people around him. Other people made movement to establish their rights. The chairman employed all kinds of power in his hand and restored to bloodshed. The strong unity, resistance against injustice and self-sacrifice of the people gradually weakened his power. At one stage, the chairman was forced to resign. At first question, look, look, first question. Who declared martial law in Pakistan in 1950? Iskandar Mirza declared the martial law in 1958. Number B, number B, why was the Muslim League defeated in the election of 1954? There are a lot of reasons. You check your book, Juktafond, the para of Juktafond, you find it. And number C, look, which movement of the people of East Pakistan is reflected in the movement of Baharampur? Explain your answer. It will be 1969. It will be 1969 upsurging. And number D, the end of chairman of Baharampur. It reflects the end of President Ayub Khan. Actually, you have to describe the operation there, the President Ayub Khan decision, everything you have to describe here. Actually, it is similar to Ayub Khan regime, and you have to focus on textbook. Number 2, event 1. Event 1. Various languages were spoken among the people of a country X, but the rulers were interested to make one language as their state language. So the inhabitants speaking other language organized a movement. At one stage, the rulers were forced to recognize all languages. Event 2. Grandfather told his grandson Tohidul that his father, Mr. Ansari, was a member of a National Assembly of Pakistan. Um, um, Pakistan, although his party was highly popular and won absolute majority in the election. Then rulers were not interested to hand over the power to them. Um, how many people were accused in the Agartala case, State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and others? It will be 35. When is the 6-point demand called the Manifesto of Freedom of the Inhabitants of East Pakistan? Because all the rights included there, you have to describe and significance of 6-point demand. Number C. Which event of the then East Pakistan is reflect in event 1? Actually, event 1 described the language movement, and at last, at one stage, the rulers were forced to recognize all languages in 1956. Pakistani rulers compelled to recognize all languages and included in their constitution 1956. Look, and the movement occurred in 1952. You have to describe the language movement. Number D, the event 2. Protest the election of 1970 and its aftermath. Discuss the statement. Actually, you have to discuss 17 election and their significance and its aftermath. And when there are many causes behind the landslide victory, Awami League, and when Awami League got the majority seats, and the by this time the Pakistani peoples did not want to hand over their power. They did not imagine it is true, and once upon a time they have to release, they have to hand over the power, and it you describe it on textbooks base. So thank you very much.